Hey YouTube, this is Mr. Shady. Just doing another check-in. Today is let's see, September 16th, 2011. It's a Friday, and I wanted to do a check-in since I hadn't done one since I've now returned back to work after having the sleeve gastrectomy actually on August 18th. Which actually yesterday made a full 4 weeks since my surgery. Um, a few things have kind of happened in the last week or so. I did go back home to North Carolina for the weekend, and have started with solid foods, and which are two pretty big things, I guess you could say. Last time I weighed myself actually was last Saturday, and I was down to 306. At my height, I get, or my highest, I guess I was about 334 to 331. So maybe about 30 pounds, give or take, in a month um, after having the surgery. Clothes are fitting a lot looser than they did before. I'd say within the next month or so, they'll probably be getting even looser on me. Um, some of the things that I did want to talk about today were really a few things that I've kind of noted, certainly over the last month. Returning back to work is very difficult. Clearly you're going from maybe 10 miles an hour into going back to work where it's 80 miles an hour. So that there is a kind of a disconnect. However, my transition was relatively smooth. I didn't have too much work that I had to catch up on. But since returning, again, it's work. And you do have to be very creative on how you're going to eat and what you're going to eat. Because clearly you're going to be a little bit more on the move. You're going to be doing some other things. So you do have to be a lot more proactive in what it is that you're going to eat to make sure that you're getting the right nutrients and protein. The one thing that has really kind of helped is kind of having something moderately quick in the morning. And I brought with me a banana. It's probably about the size of the banana that I usually eat in the morning. It's somewhat mushy, so it can go down relatively well, on my way to the metro stop or train stop or whatever. Has pretty much helped. Also, trying to take some water with me too. Some of my biggest problems right now are trying to drink the protein. I've actually gotten a little tired of the protein shakes that I have bought. So I'm trying to eat food that has high protein, such as tuna, such as chicken, such as eggs, that actually give me that protein. Um, the other thing that I put in the description box is learn how to love the buffet. Now, us as morbidly obese people, for many of us, the buffet is what's gotten us in trouble. Or a friend of mine who's also obese or morbidly obese, used to call it the food barges, because they're huge and they just have these humongous amounts of food in which you can pile on. Um, One thing that I've been doing and really testing out, there's kind of a buffet style breakfast place that's right around the corner from where I live, or excuse me, from where I work. What I've tried to do is figure out my portion size. If I can figure out the portion size, then I can kind of move on to exactly how much food that I can eat. It actually serves really two purposes. It really does help you with deciding on what that portion size is. Um, so you can be cognizant if you are going out, to dinner or you're making food for yourself about how much food you can eat. Also, it's very cheap. The place that I usually go that have these buffets, usually it's about $5.50 a pound. And obviously prior to having the surgery, I could probably pack on 3 pounds in a given box that they give you. Um, But actually, the other day I got some scrambled eggs and I got some grits without butter. And it actually only cost me 26 cents, which is to me a very good deal. Um, I would probably say maybe 4 or 5 scoops of actual scrambled eggs, regular size scoops, and probably maybe 4 to 5 scoops of grits is what I had in there. Um, didn't finish it, but I've done that a few mornings and it has worked out relatively well. It does also cut down on wasting food. A lot of times, when we've gone to buffets in the past, clearly we're able to eat everything on the plate or in the box. But usually, if you're going to a normal breakfast place or restaurant place, they're going to give you these huge helpings, and a lot of times you're not at all going to finish any of that. I can certainly rest assured and tell you that, regardless if you have the sleeve or gastric bypass, you will not be finishing that. So these um, portion control buffets is what I would call them, is a good way to kind of test exactly what it is that you can have and figure out, okay, I know I can have this much, or maybe 2/3 of a cup of eggs, or maybe half a cup of grits. So I think that was a good choice in doing that. That may help. Um, and it certainly gives you the motivation to say, okay, this is typically what I can have for breakfast, etc. The other thing that's been kind of a problem that I've been trying to work out, besides not having the protein, or the protein as much as I should, is the hydration. If you're getting those little bottles or individual bottles that are usually 17 ounces or 20 ounces, whatever they are, they're very good. But obviously, it's very hard when you're in the heat of trying to work and make sure that you're getting enough fluids. The one thing that I'm sure all nutritionists have told you is about these Crystal Light packets. Let's see if I can get that in. Um, this is one particular one that I've been drinking. You mix it in with some ice cold water. Clearly shake it up in one of those 20-ounce bottles or even 17-ounce bottles, and you have something other than just plain water to actually help you through the day. They do have a lot of these crystal lights that have different types. I have one that has skincare, which are skin essentials, which I'd imagine just has probably some vitamin D in it. There's another crystal light that's similar to this that actually is a hydrating one. I haven't been able to find it. I know someone else on here on YouTube has posted that they do get the crystal light hydration. If you can find that, great. Let me know, because I certainly would like to get that. They have some that have energy, so on and so forth. I would imagine it probably just has some B12 in it. Um, so those are just some of the major updates right now that are kind of going on. You know, things are going along better. I'll probably start to weigh myself a little bit more and start to get a little bit more into the progress. I have not gotten into the physical activity yet. I'm really kind of waiting to see how long I'll keep on losing, and then once I realize that this may be it, then start working out into to start to build some muscle. Um, as I said before, I did go back home. Obviously going home is always comforting, and the food is comforting too. Um, I think the other thing, especially when you're going out to dinner, is trying to avoid not drinking 30 minutes prior and 30 minutes after. All of us have been raised to, have fluids while we eat. Now we don't do that. Certainly with the surgery. That certainly had been a very big difference because I've gone out to eat and found myself, having a cup of ice water with lemon or whatever, and then having my meal or whatever that may be. And most times it's mainly been soup. That does take a little bit of getting used to. But that's just the check in for now. Everything's going pretty well. Certainly leave me a comment below, and I'll see if I can respond. But I will talk to everybody again. Thanks.